sorry, Chloe. I can't say why, and I know it isn't fair, but I can't be your friend right now. Can't or don't want to. Does it matter? I'm really sorry. Goodbye, Chloe. Fuck this place.
Cool. So we saw Chloe make some decisions there. Can you talk a little bit about the different permutations, how it would play out if she had made the other choices?
Sure, yeah. So Chloe has a chance here to tell Rachel what she thinks is going on between them and during the course of that day. Rachel's opinion might not even map onto Chloe's based on previous choices that Chloe's made. So depending on how Chloe expresses or the player expresses their interests, Rachel might respond in a variety of different ways.
Sure.
How do you keep the dialogue? I mean, obviously this is somewhat aimed at a young adult audience or a teenage audience, as well as you know, those of us who are a bit older who enjoyed Life is Strange. How do you keep the dialogue grounded so it doesn't swing too far into kind of cliche, stereotypical teen territory?
Part of that just has to do with, I think, having the right kind of team in place, that a plurality of voices, a diverse body of voices in the writer's room, kind of contributing to the construction of the story. In some cases, we're dealing with 16-year-olds. Cliched even fits.
It does, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I was never in a junkyard like that, but I have experienced similar moments in my teenage years.
Everything's so intense and so loud when you're that age. Sometimes the writing embraces that. Yeah.
We've just a few minutes left. If there's any final questions.
Well, I guess for me, you know, you guys said that you were fans first. Why do you think Life is Strange has resonated in the way that it has with people? I mean, when I saw the reaction on Twitter to the announcement of this prequel Before the Storm, you know, people were like, I'm crying, and there were emojis all over the show. You know, why do you think people love it so much?
I mean, obviously it's unique, right? I mean, I think what Don't Nod created has such a unique vision on every level. Visually, the way the game looks, the way it feels, the way it's a story that takes its time and really lets its characters and moments kind of breathe. It just doesn't feel like any other video game. To me, that was such a big part of its appeal.
I think for me too, the authenticity of the characters, their frailty, their vulnerabilities, their flaws. I mean, the franchise embraces that. For me as a player, that's what I resonated with. A willingness to explore characters and heroes who aren't perfect. I think we need more of that, honestly.
Do you think perhaps some of it has to do with the fact that, you know, it's quite rare to see video games centered on younger, you know, women, like teenage girls? That's something that we don't generally see, at least explored in an emotional way.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a protagonist in the first Life is Strange and in Before the Storm of a kind that you just don't typically see.
Do you think we will see, I mean, obviously you guys can't, you guys will probably know a little bit more than I do and don't want to ruin any surprises, but do you think that in future iterations of Life is Strange we will be telling stories from other perspectives outside of Max and Chloe? Or do you think really they are the heart and soul of this series? I
think a cornerstone of the franchise is to embrace stories that live in all sorts of places. I don't want to speak further about the details, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to exploring more of Arcadia Bay on August 31st.
That's right.
Thanks so much for coming by the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Remember, for all the latest E3 news, trailers, interviews, and so much more, go to IGN.com/E3. Stick around because the Ubisoft pre-show is coming up in just a few minutes. More IGN Live at E3 right after this.
Entertainment event of the year is almost here, and we got your all access pass. IGN live from San Diego Comic-Con. World premiere trailers and breaking news as it happens. The biggest stars and the world's best cosplay. IGN live from Comic-Con. Coverage starts July 19.
IGN is the world's #1 media brand for video games and entertainment. From breaking news and brand new trailers to reviews, let's plays, and the latest tips and tricks, IGN brings you the videos you crave everywhere you watch. Whether you're on the IGN app, PlayStation, Xbox, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, or IGN.com, IGN's got you covered on everything you care about. IGN, the #1 source for video game fans worldwide.
Did you know that IGN has an app that gives you all the tools you love right in the palm of your hands? It's fast, and you can save videos and articles for later, check your personalized feed, or check out all the latest reviews. Download it now on the iOS or Android App Store.
Two friends, one controller. IGN's Link Together turned Zelda Breath of the Wild into a co-op experience where Link is controlled by two players via splitting the Joy-Cons. Hyrule becomes a much more dangerous place, and friendships teeter on the edge. Check out Link Together Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific.
To call themselves the Assassins.
What's up, everybody? James Duggan with IGN Access here at E3 2017. Joining me is Jonathan Dornbush to talk about Assassin's Creed Origins. You got to take a little bit of a look at it, so let's examine the titular element, Origins. Tell me about it.
Origins. So we played Assassin's Creed Origins on Scorpio, which is awesome to begin with. But Origins itself, it's going back to 49 BCE, ancient Egypt. This is sort of the formation of the Brotherhood as we know it. So we're really going further than we've ever done in the series to the past, which is really exciting.
What are we looking at in terms of a kind of a unique hook for gameplay in Origins?
You have a friend Falcon Eagle sort of guy. He hangs out with you. You can send him out to search and like pinpoint enemies. There's gear you can pick up. There are weapons you can pick up. It changes a lot of the experience.
You told me it's a little bit more RPG this time. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. They're very much focusing for an action RPG element at this point. So right now you can level up Bayek, the main character. You can bring him through certain progressions. So if you're more of a stealthy player, you can focus on leveling up those skill points as opposed to the warrior sort of skills. But if you are more of a ranger, if you want to go with bows and arrows, you can also do that. So they're really giving you the freedom to play the way you want to and leave that world to explore the way you want.
Perhaps most excitingly, you played on Scorpio.
Yes.
So I have to ask, what was that like?
The ancient Egypt they've created is beautiful. There's, of course, a verticality to it, as any Assassin's Creed game has, but it's a really varied landscape, despite it, you would think desert Egypt, but there are beautiful sort of oases in the mix. You can hop onto the water on a boat, cruise around for a bit, get right off into the sands of a beach, go right into sort of a settlement. It's beautiful to play, and it ran very smoothly. It was alpha gameplay, so it was earlier, but it still played very well.
So you were talking about Bayek, the Medja, and he's kind of the main character, the protagonist. Can you tell me about his personality? Did you get to see anything like that?
He seemed to be a man of the people, as some of the assassins are. He very much was a caring, sort of stoic type.
So let's talk about the Animus. Did you get a sense that it would be in Assassin's Creed Origins?
There was really no hint of that. In the UI, you still got the Assassin's Creed sort of futuristic sci-fi touches. There were definitely like pinpoints on the map where I was like, oh, that's the modern day Assassin's Creed sort of aesthetic, but I don't know how it plays into Bayek's story.
Great, that was a little sneak preview of Assassin's Creed Origins. This is Jonathan Dornbush. You can check his preview out on IGN.com soon, very soon. And for all things Assassin's Creed and E3, you're already in the right place at IGN.
The
biggest entertainment event of the year is almost here, and we've got your all-access pass. IGN live from San Diego Comic-Con. World premiere trailers and breaking news as it happens. The biggest stars and the world's best cosplay. IGN live from Comic-Con. Coverage starts July 19.
Two friends, one controller. IGN's Link Together turned Zelda Breath of the Wild into a co-op experience where Link is controlled by two players via splitting the Joy-Cons. Hyrule becomes a much more dangerous place, and friendships teeter on the edge. Check out Link Together Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific.
IGN is the world's #1 media brand for video games and entertainment. From breaking news and brand new trailers to reviews, let's plays, and the latest tips and tricks, IGN brings you the videos you crave everywhere you watch. Whether you're on the IGN app, PlayStation, Xbox, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, or IGN.com, IGN's got you covered on everything you care about. IGN, the #1 source for video game fans worldwide.
Did you know that IGN has an app that gives you all the tools you love right in the palm of your hands? It's fast, and you can save videos and articles for later, check your personalized feed, or check out all the latest reviews. Download it now on the iOS or Android App Store. Did you know that IGN has an app that gives you all the tools you love?
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3. I'm Damon Hatfield, and we're coming to you from Los Angeles, where in just a bit, we will take you to live at Ubisoft's press conference. Remember, no matter where you are, you can be a part of the action. Get access to IGN Live on your computer, your phone, your console. We're on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and basically anything with an internet connection. Now, one of the most anticipated games we're going to see today is Far Cry 5, which was revealed a few weeks ago. There's a whole new setting, and the premise is making some waves. We broke down everything we know so far in this Road to E3 report.
Something is coming. You can feel it, can't you? You can feel that we are creeping towards the edge.
Far Cry 5 is the upcoming Far Cry game. It's the first one since Primal, and it is the first time the series is really just going to the heart of America and Montana. Pretty much ever since Far Cry 2, the series has been one of the most entertaining open-world sandbox playground games, and the idea of it coming to the American heartland is super exciting to me. Ubisoft actually just officially revealed Far Cry 5. We got a couple teaser trailers, a couple tone pieces, and we know that it takes place in Hope County, Montana. I think we will absolutely see Far Cry 5 at E3, most likely on Ubisoft's stage, also probably on Sony's stage because of a partnership agreement. My hopes for E3 is that we get a big blowout gameplay chunk that we actually get to go hands-on and see what Far Cry 5 feels like at the show. So the big things we know about Far Cry 5 right now are its setting, and we know sort of the tone it's going for and some of the characters that we're going to be interacting with, especially the villains. But the one thing I really want to see from it is what's the game going to feel like when we play? The American heartland is a lot different than, you know, the Himalayas or than a Caribbean island.
And I know that you are in pain. For my children, I'm here to tell you that suffering is a choice, and you can choose a better path. And some of you may fight, but in the end, you will thank us.
Joining me to break down everything we want to see and then what we actually do see, Daniel Krupa, Marty Sleva, and Alana Pierce. Marty, thank you for putting together that Road to report in the clothes you're wearing.
I ran from the other stage, obviously wearing the same shirt.
Definitely
You're professional. You understand continuity.
Yeah.
Or he just has that one shirt.
Just one shirt. I'm so excited for this.
I'm super excited for Far Cry 5.
Yes, so am I. So, full disclosure, we can say that after the Ubisoft conference and after the post-show, we're going to air an exclusive behind-the-scenes piece. I went to Montreal and talked to the developers. And then we're going to air a bunch of exclusive gameplay with the game's creative director, Dan Hay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Please look forward to that.
Yes.
But as for what we can talk about right now, we did reveal the game on IGN a few weeks ago. Catch us up to speed on where Far Cry 5 is set, what we're doing there.
Yeah, so this is the first time the series, obviously, it's set in America, Hope County, Montana. You play as just an avatar. You create a character. It could be a man, a woman, run any race. And you play a junior sheriff who's sort of caught in the middle of this town that's been overrun by this crazy sort of zealot cult that believes the doomsday is coming.
I feel really sorry for this junior detective. This is their first job.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, usually it's like, oh, there's a burglary, or like someone stole a pie from her windowsill.
Yeah, it's a murderous cult.
Yeah, it's a murderous cult.
We're in Polk County.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's not great. But yeah, so obviously, you get this sort of grounded, like crazy sort of religious cultish story. We saw the villains in that one shot of sort of the Last Supper. It's this crazy family, but then that's also juxtaposed with the fact that this still is a Far Cry game. So there's going to be animals, there's going to be outposts, there's going to be just crazy open world action. Obviously, planes, trains, trucks.
Alana, are you excited for this one?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I love Far Cry. Far Cry 3 is one of my favorite games. I'm really interested to see what we're actually going to be doing in this.
Yes.
I understand the tone. I think I want to see more of that, but I want to see solid gameplay. You mentioned those outposts. I want to know what those look like. Liberating outposts is one of my favorite things to do in Far Cry.
Yep.
What does that look like in Hope County? I can't even picture it. So
I think Dan Hayes said about how they took the idea of an outpost. You can come from any angle and take it how you want. But in this game, you want to make the entire map an outpost.
Yeah.
So you can experiment in a bigger way.
So, like, David and I are from the Midwest, so when you say Montana, we sort of have an idea for what Montana is. You guys, spoilers, aren't from America.
I assume basically it's all like this.
Yeah. I mean, so like, do in your mind is like rural America.
There's California and New York, and then it's just that.
And
it's just in between everything. Yeah.
Like, to you, in your mind, is that like a fun playground for Far Cry, which has traditionally been like the Himalayas or an island or Africa?
I have no idea. Yeah, it's really hard to say. I kind of, for some reason, expect everywhere to be snowy in the U.S. Being from Australia, where it doesn't snow very much, it's like, do we get that in this game? Are there going to be seasons? I have no idea. I don't know.
One of my favorite things about Far Cry games is like the exotic wildlife.
Yeah.
And so far, I've seen a cow.
Yeah.
Like, I like cows.
Cows aren't exotic?
Cows great.
Yeah.
And also, I've heard that you can train a dog in the game.
Oh, there is absolutely a dog. We're going to talk quite a bit about the dog afterwards. We have actually exclusive dog gameplay, which is wonderful. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the dog's actually going to be here on the show, too. So that's really very exciting.
I'm going to have an asthma attack.
Love it.
The Far Cry games usually have a great villain. That's kind of like one of the things they're known for.
Yeah. So we had, obviously, Far Cry 3 had Voss, Far Cry 4 had Pagan Min, and we saw here that it's sort of this family, and it's this priest and his siblings, which you see on the sort of the Last Supper table, and it's this crazy family that sort of takes charge of Hope County by preying on people's fears and weaknesses and giving them a sliver of hope, even if it's violent hope. So, I definitely want to see more of the villains and see if they can live up to what Michael Mondo and Troy Baker did.
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering about. If they haven't revealed who's playing the villain.
No, not yet.
I wonder if that's going to be announced, if it's a well-known actor.
We'll have to wait and see.
Funny that it's so similar in premise to Outlast 2. It's kind of the same thing, right? It's like a father who like controls his whole family and makes people crazy.
As well.
Yeah.
Family with distinct personalities.
Yeah. Is this a trend we're seeing emerge here?
Yeah, the crazy families. That's what's in 2017.
Crazy
that makes sense. Yeah.
Hasn't Ubisoft also said they have a new feature to reveal today for Far Cry 5?
I don't know if they've said that, but we're definitely going to reveal a new feature. What do you guys think it is? I have to play Corey because I know what it is.
When they announced the game the other week, when they showed the trailer, there were those 3 like character vignettes, and I don't think it's very clear how they factor into the game as yet, whether they're co-op characters or whether they're kind of NPCs, which you
main
recruit,
characters,
and they're kind of your allies in the town.
Yeah, and we do know.
It'd be cool to have a squad. People you can roll with constantly.
Especially if you're taking on a family, it makes sense for you to have your own backup.
Yeah, and they've said that you can play the whole game 2-player co-op. It's 2-player pop-in, pop-out co-op, which seems super fun. That's kind of the first time this series has done it. They also said multiplayer is coming back, so maybe we'll get more details on that.
Yeah. All right, we're excited. Okay, until last year, the Assassin's Creed franchise had been consistently pumping out a new title every year, sometimes even 2. So what does taking a year off mean for this next chapter, Assassin's Creed Origins?
What did you guys? Yeah, we played it. We got to play it. We can actually talk about it. Yeah,
give us the info dump.
We got to play it yesterday on the Xbox One X.
Cool.
So this was the first time either of us have obviously gone hands-on with that. And set back to ancient Egypt. I think it's 45 BC, and it's the Black Flag team. And to me personally, it played a lot like Black Flag in a really good way.
Yeah, one thing that I really liked, and one of the first things that I actually did, was just found a boat that was just parked on a dock, got in it, sailed away. Just because you can do that. I felt like I had a lot of freedom, and there was kind of less. I feel like when you were getting in boats, even in Black Flag, it was more of a task. You just had to wait for it to load in. Sometimes it would drop through the water. There was all that kind of stuff. Didn't see any bugs, so that's great. But it felt like I really had the choice to do anything in a way that
is probably one of my favorite things that they constantly expand on in Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of stuff that you can do. And I got on this boat, sailed out into the sea, and then found hidden treasure underwater, dove down, picked up a bow, and in my inventory it immediately told me that it was kind of a rare item that was better than any of the other bows I had equipped. So I think there's going to be a kind of in-depth loot system here. It looks like there's a lot of customization and RPG elements as well, which I'm really excited about.
That sounds awesome.
I think it's really key they spend like the conference today emphasizing what has changed, because in the Xbox conference you saw some gameplay and it looks like Assassin's Creed, so you don't necessarily convey all the things and the ways that it has changed.
I felt a little that way playing it, but you felt less that way.
Yeah,
I was like, this feels a lot like Assassin's Creed to me, in a way that I didn't think it was quite different enough. But
yeah, so I played a little bit more than you did, and some of the differences to me, it felt. You mentioned the boat earlier. Stealing animals and boats almost felt like GTA Watch Dogs, where it was more consumable, which I like.
Yeah.
Like you said, like in Black Flag, it was like if you got on a boat, it was sort of this like laborious task. Whereas here, it was like, well, I'm gonna steal this fisherman's boat and just go to that island. So
do you get to do much of the combat? Because that seems the thing they've really changed, because it's about like hitboxes and adjusting your distance, which is way more like Dark Souls. We saw the parry in the trailer,
and they even have emphasized that they want bosses. Like they weren't saying Dark Souls, but everything they were saying about the bosses that you have to learn the patterns of, that you have to learn how to counter, parry, dodge. I'm like, this sounds
like
Souls.
Using Dark Souls is kind of like shorthand for like a more complex combat system.
Yeah,
I saw the basilisk in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this gameplay demo from the Microsoft conference ends with a boss fight, right?
Yes.
A really large.
Yeah, this is like
soldier.
Crazy gladiator. But yeah, like Alana said too, there's also like they're going into mythological things. Like this is it's ancient Egypt, but it's sort of the height of the grandeur of Egypt, but also right before like the precipice of the downfall. So this is like the pyramids have already been built, the gods have already been set, and all of it's sort of ready to be torn into ruin.
Like the series always had supernatural elements, but I think going that far back in time, you're kind of unshackled by history a little bit to like go a bit more
It's also
crazy.
supposed to be, with the name Origins, the start of the Brotherhood, and it seems like they're not going to have the Animus in it.
I would
It seems like
I would be totally fine with that.
In your experience so far, you haven't seen any hints of that?
No.
There wasn't like a glitch or anything, or like a weird voice from the present day.
Well, this almost continues the trend of Syndicate, which is actually a really good Assassin's Creed game, but I think people were so fatigued by the time that came out, not a lot of people played it as they should have done. And in that game, the characters are almost bored of the Animus. And all the kind of pseudo stuff.
So I feel like hopefully this has been in development since Black Flag, so 3.5 years. And I hope they took some feedback from Unity and Syndicate, and taking the year off I hope helps.
And you were talking about how in Far Cry 5 you create your character.
Yes.
That's not the case in Assassin's Creed, is it?
No, this is
Dayek
Dayek is the character you play. We don't know a ton about him other than he was the last of the Maid, I believe, which is like a race of warriors, and so he feels sort of Altair-ish, where he seems very noble. He very much seems like a man of the people.
One thing I really liked is actually when you go back to that town, which I guess is his hometown, I felt like the characters in the town were actually alive. People were interacting with what I was doing, which is something that I think Assassin's Creed kind of has failed on in the past, where they only react to you if you brush them. So it felt more alive. People were waving. People were acknowledging my presence.
You shouldn't be doing that to strangers in a town, Molly.
It's my hometown. I can brush them.
Oh yeah, good point.
It just felt a lot more dense and populated and alive, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, and they said that there's a day-night cycle, and that all NPCs, no matter if you were 5 kilometers away from them, 10, have a life they live. So a farmer will farm during the day, and at night he'll go to a bar and drink, or whatever the 45 BC version of a pub is. I'm not a farmer.
Maybe they're getting into some nighttime business.
There you go. Nighttime business.
It could be happening. You can't see it.
Great business.
Another game, South Park, The Fractured Butthole, was delayed like the previous game. That's what the game's called. Delayed like the previous game, The Stick of Truth, but we'll hopefully get our hands on it soon. What do we want out of this sequel?
The same thing.
More of the same.
I love South Park. It's probably my favorite TV show. I'm mostly against annualized franchises. I don't tend to want to play the same game every year. If it's South Park, because it just plays like an episode of the show, I am so for that. And I think it's, I expect to see something more of this at the conference, but considering that it was supposed to be out before now.
It kind of missed its release date already.
Yeah, I'm interested in what they show us.
Remind people that it's still coming. It's still great.
So I rewatched last year's Ubisoft conference this morning, and this was the only game there that isn't out yet. Every other game that was at the conference last year has already come out. And so this is the only game featured. And so I'm curious to see how it's changed in the past year. Like, we knew the big change last year was that it's no longer sort of a 16-bit traditional JRPG. It's now more tactical, Fire Emblem-y. There was like a grid system, which I wasn't crazy about last year.
Yeah, I read the preview for that last year, so I saw it just behind closed doors, and it seems definitely a lot more complicated, is
Yeah.
what I'll say. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but hopefully we'll see kind of more depth to that today. I'm also expecting for today's conference to honestly be super vulgar. Like, I'm really expecting them to just go, this is South Park, this is so different to everything else we have on show. I'm kind of expecting them just to make it completely disgusting, and I'm totally fine with that.
Well, it's like you were saying, you just kind of want more of the same. So I wonder, what does Ubisoft even really have to show? If people are already on board,
and they've already set the release date. They already said, hey, it's coming in October.
Yeah, that's why I'm expecting just very funny. I think we're going to get like a set piece or just a very small chunk of the game that is either hilarious or incredibly vulgar.
Or get something from like Stone and Parker, maybe. Yeah. Maybe they're filming a bit of segment.
Yeah, they were on stage last year, so might happen again.
Yeah. All right, we have to take a quick break, but afterwards we will talk about this insane Mario and Rabbids crossover and more. IGN Live's Ubisoft pre-show will be right back.
Biggest entertainment event of the year is almost here, and we've got your all-access pass. IGN live from San Diego Comic-Con. World premiere trailers and breaking news as it happens. The biggest stars and the world's best cosplay. IGN live from Comic-Con. Coverage starts July 19.
Two friends, one controller. IGN's Link Together turned Zelda Breath of the Wild into a co-op experience where Link is controlled by two players via splitting the Joy-Cons. Hyrule becomes a much more dangerous place, and friendships teeter on the edge. Check out Link Together Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific.
IGN is the world's #1 media brand for video games and entertainment. From breaking news and brand new trailers to reviews, let's plays, and the latest tips and tricks, IGN brings you the videos you crave everywhere you watch. Whether you're on the IGN app, PlayStation, Xbox, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, or IGN.com, IGN's got you covered on everything you care about. IGN, the #1 source for video game fans worldwide.
Did you know that IGN has an app that gives you all the tools you love right in the palm of your hands? It's fast, and you can save videos and articles for later, check your personalized feed, or check out all the latest reviews. Download it now on the iOS or Android App Store.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3. We are under 10 minutes away from the start of Ubisoft's press conference, and we'll take you there as soon as it starts. Now, let's talk about this Mario and Rabbids crossover game. Ubisoft has not officially announced it yet, but if leaked materials are to be believed, it features Mario and friends teaming up with Ubisoft's Rabbids from the Rayman universe.
Just what we all always wanted.
It's what people have been clamoring for. Well, tell me your thoughts on this. You know, people love Mario RPG, the old Mario RPG game. So I think people would be excited if we get a Mario RPG. It's just a little unusual to pair them up with Rabbids.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this.
It is. Like, weirdly, this is one of the things I want to see from this conference, because I'm like, what the hell is this game? And we know it's, like, for all intents and purposes, we know it's real. Like, the amiibo have leaked, the key art has leaked, like, the fact sheet has leaked. But I also want to know, is Ubisoft developing this? Is Nintendo developing this? Like, is this the Rabbids studio? Is this the Mario Luigi studio?
No idea. Like, that's all I have to say is I don't know what this is. I'm excited to find out more. I expect it to be very funny.
I think it's easy to be quite dismissive of it or a bit critical. Like, Mario's had a long history of appearing in other games and jumping to other genres, and I just don't think it's really for me. But I don't mind it existing, Damon.
Dan, you're from the old country.
I am. You know that's not France.
I know, but you're closer than we are.
That's true.
Can you explain?
There and everything. It's crazy.
I think Rabbids are more popular. Is that true? Is that your perception?
Yeah,
that's the reason,
not in London where I live.
Okay, not in London.
But like in France, I think
the minions of Europe.
They actually have their own. I actually do know a little bit about this because I got up at 4 a.m. to research Rabbids, and they do have their own theme park, rides and theme parks in France. They are crazy popular. They're on TV. They have their own animated series. Yeah, the series on Nickelodeon. Yeah, they are really popular, and I think Ubisoft really benefits from having that character positioned alongside Mario, which is going to bring in more people. cool. So you're going to expose your own character to loads more kids.
For sure, and like the first 3 games we talked about were South Park, Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry, which kids probably shouldn't play or do, whatever, if you're a bad parent. But like, this is a game, this isn't for us. Or the best parent. This isn't for us, this is for kids. And if this means that Ubisoft is taking the Switch seriously and making unique games for it, I'm all for that, because like I have a Switch and I love it, and I want more companies to make unique games for it. Like I don't want Assassin's Creed and Far Cry on my Switch. I want someone to make something different that's just for this. And so if this is a stepping stone towards something that I'm actually excited about, then cool.
I think it'd be a very different conversation around it if Odyssey wasn't coming out later this year. But the fact that that exists, you're going to get another Mario game. That's great.
What if the Rabbids come in there, though? Because we know he's going to New Donk City. He's going to what we think
Rabbit
is
Town.
Mexico. What if he goes to Rabbid Land?
Yeah.
France.
That's
where they live.
It's just France.
Yeah.
It is really nice to see a third party supporting the Switch in a big way. The only other mention we've had at E3 so far from a third party has been Bethesda last night with Skyrim coming to Switch. But this isn't a port. This is something brand new. So
Ubisoft really getting behind it, because they've also got the Rayman stuff, which we doesn't have a release date yet. And they were there at launch. They had Just Dance as well. So
and they
like
said
really
Steep's coming to it. So we might actually have a pretty big Switch presence at the show today.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Ubisoft has promised it will be unveiling new IP today. Any guesses as to what that might be?
I would like to say Splinter Cell.
Which one? Splinter Cell?
Splinter Cell. Like,
not new IP, but
sorry.
Splinter Cell would be great.
I thought you were on about surprises.
It's hard to guess a new IP, but I'm going to say it's open world.
It's probably open world. So
Ubisoft is good at that.
There's 2 guesses. If you guys played Watch Dogs 2, there was a mission where you infiltrate Ubisoft's SF office and you find leaked footage of a game. And it's this prototype of like, it's like twanging guitar music. It almost feels like Cowboy Bebop. It's this like space salvage game. And there were some rumors, I think Kotaku reported that, hey, this was a game that was actually in development at one time. So, and Ubisoft doesn't really have a sci-fi spacey thing. So maybe that's something.
That's true.
And then since Black Flag, we've pretty much heard rumors about it just a straight up pirate game. And so maybe we finally get the pirate game that we've sort of made predictions of for the past couple of years.
I think it would be a weird time to release a pirate game, but I can't see that happening just with Sea of Thieves and also with Origins having the kind of piratey aspects as well. But I mean, we've heard about that for quite a long time, so it's possible.
Yeah, and I saw the latest Pirates of the Caribbean movie by myself on my 31st birthday the other week.
That's the saddest story I've ever heard.
It wasn't great.
No.
So I feel like now's the time not to do pirates.
Personally had enough of them.
Yeah, I think I'm having an existential crisis right now.
Well, there is also, this is a new IP, but we keep hearing that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still a thing. Still being worked on.
E3 again.
I feel like this is like the E3 drinking game for the past decade is will Michel Ancel come out?
I feel like if that happens, I will cry. I honestly think if it finally ends up happening, I will just burst out into tears and someone will have to fix my makeup before the post-show. I don't think it's going to happen.
We have this footage, which was from the Reagan administration. But so obviously after this, they went off the grid for a while, but then Yves Guillemot is just randomly posting on Instagram. Not Yves Guillemot, sorry, Michel Ancel is randomly posting on Instagram like, the game's in development, here's some character art. And I'm like, what are you doing? Don't you have PR? Is there anyone to tell you not to? This looks awesome though.
It does look awesome.
And the first one is so beloved by everyone who played it back in the GameCube era.
So much quirky, lovable personality. Like it's just such a friendly game, and it would also fit in theory in with more of their kid-friendly games. Like you said, we have South Park, which is going to be incredibly vulgar, and Far Cry is going to be more mature, so it kind of evens out that lineup.
This is an open world game where you're not like slitting people's throats and fighting crazy cults.
It really does look like Assassin's Creed on that shot, though.
For sure.
It's fine.
The Ubisoft press conference should be starting any moment now, so any moment we're going to throw you over there. Make sure you stick around afterwards for all of our post-show coverage. Quick rapid fire. What does the Ubisoft have to do to really get people talking about their conference this year? Have people talking afterwards?
I would really like new content for Rainbow Six Siege and for The Division. Those are the 2 things that I really want. More support for those games. We know that they have a really good history of rolling out DLC, and I want to see continued support for those 2 titles specifically.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally think they're going to show a bunch of coverage from those games, and then who are those men? And games as a service has been huge for them lately, so I think they're going to double down on that.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'd like a couple of surprises. I feel like we know a lot of the games that are going to be there because they announced them the other week, Far Cry and so on, but I'd like a few more surprises in there, I think.
Yeah, I guess to recap everything we know, Far Cry 5, Assassin's Creed, Origins, Mario Crash Rabbids. I am being told the conference is starting. Okay. We're going to throw you over there right now. Send you to the Orpheum Theater and stick around afterwards because we will be back with our reactions as soon as the show ends. See you soon.
Hello everyone, and thank you. We've always wondered what could happen if our crazy rabbits were unleashed upon the world of Mario. Today, the dream is reality. And to talk about this unexpected encounter, it is my great honor to welcome a very special guest, someone I truly admire. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, Miyamoto-san.